All right, y'all, while I'm here with the doggies, while they're eating, they got a little bit spooked when I started talking. I just want to talk about some other biblical principles before I head out to do some chores, and then hopefully I'll have time to come back and do some math. Should be able to. So, another biblical principle that I wanted to go over was, again, just reading through some of the Gospels and hearing Jesus talk to the Pharisees who were criticizing him for not following, quote-unquote, God's laws. And Jesus making the distinction of the difference between God's laws and human laws. It's always good to remember that, like, the laws that we follow that are human laws can never contradict God's laws. So God's laws go above human laws. And what we also have to remember is that we can follow human laws. So let me break those both down. So first of all, it's good to believe things and to follow things the Bible doesn't explicitly talk about. For example, the Bible doesn't talk about how to cook an egg, right? But it's good to read another book that teaches you how to do that, or watch a YouTube video, right? Or like the Bible doesn't explain how to do math, which we've gone over on this channel a lot, but it does go over a bunch of other things, right? And so it's good to make that distinction of like, okay, just because something isn't in the Bible doesn't mean I can't believe it or follow it, as long as that thing doesn't contradict the Bible. So the Bible does say that we as humans are to have dominion over the whole world. And that's what you do when you practice things like math. The only other thing to remember there is that, again, human laws cannot go above God's laws. And that's kind of what Jesus was criticizing the Pharisees for, was saying that in them pursuing their human laws, they were starting to forget to follow some of God's basic laws, like treating everyone fairly and equally and loving everyone as your neighbor. They weren't doing those things, and my garage light just turned off. And so that was a good reminder for the rest of us of making sure that the rules that we follow are both biblical and are in line with God's will for us. And as long as we do that, whether it's found explicitly in the Bible or it's found in other parts of life, then we know we're doing the right thing and we're living a good life. So hopefully that was good for you guys to hear. Hopefully that encouraged you guys. You can see Prince. He's just eating. He's tearing that food apart, and there's Lady. All right, y'all take it easy.